Hey, what's up everyone? This is Cassius Methyl, and I'm going to finally tell you my spiritual theory for what's happening in this month of September. And in this video, I'm going to go into the larger perspective of what's happening not just in September, but what's been leading up to this for the last 4 years. I'm going to explain exactly why I think this shift of consciousness has been taking place the last 4 years, the last month, the last year, and when these shifts of consciousness took place in history. In history, the same astrological aspects that took place when periods of consciousness shift like this, I lost my train of thought, but basically some of the same astrological angles happened in those times of shift as this one. And it is these kind of pretty tangible proofs that lead me to believe in astrology. It's very difficult for me personally to hold stock in a spiritual science like astrology until it's proven, indefinitely proven. So what I seek to do with my work is provide people with proofs for why these theories will explain the physical mechanisms behind these shifts of consciousness. Some theorize that planets serve as avatars, as just a symbol for already present under the surface mechanism of consciousness that we can't perceive. That's a theory of astrology, that the planets are nothing but avatars for this underlying consciousness grid. I'm not sure if the planets are actual avatars or physical causes of these energies, but I do know that these positions of planets, they predict things, and I could predict an era of change like this 16 years into the future, when the next Uranus aspects are, the next major Uranus aspects. So here's what's going on. What's going on in the month of September is Jupiter aligning with the dwarf planet Orcus to oppose Neptune. Jupiter opposes Neptune about every 15 years, but this Jupiter opposite Neptune in Virgo and Pisces is exactly aligned with the dwarf planet Orcus. Orcus was a dwarf planet that was much easier to discern the meaning of than other dwarf planets in my study because I am Orcus. Me and one of my best friends both have Orcus fully activated in our sun, his sun and Mercury, and my sun and moon. My full moon is aligned with my Orcus, and his sun and Mercury is aligned with his Orcus. My sun is opposite Orcus, activating it, and my full moon is aligned with it. So it took me some time, but I've done some great work to identify the characteristics and the energy of Orcus in me and in my best friend. I felt Mercury conjoined Orcus last month in August for a second, when Mercury was in Virgo passing over Orcus. I felt the energy of that day, and at that time I felt that it was an energy of euphoric willpower. I felt an increased euphoric willpower to read and to learn things on that particular day. So I theorized that me and my friend both have the same euphoric willpower and extreme determination to learn things. So I integrated that into my theory, and I thought, well, maybe this is a part of Orcus. Because that certainly wasn't explainable by any other astrological aspects when Mercury conjoined Orcus in August. So now that Jupiter is exactly aligned with Orcus today, September 10th and September 11th and September 12th, we're experiencing the peak of Jupiter conjunct Orcus opposite Neptune. Since the only ways to activate a dwarf planet are through conjunction or opposition, two planets opposing each other on Orcus is the most powerful way you can possibly activate it. Orcus is being activated more fully than any other dwarf planet possibly could. Two planets opposing each other on the planet. That's the most powerful activation you can get. So this is the perfect time for a case study into the effects of Orcus. So I think Orcus causes people to feel a euphoric, extremely bold, undying, bold willpower to do something. Orcus appears to be a strong willpower. this certainly is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the effects of Orcus, and we won't have a full perception of what Orcus does for a long time. And if we claimed that we had a full perception of Orcus before we did the right studying into it, we'd be fooling ourselves. If this is a science, if this is something that can be tangibly observed and seen to be the same thing in different circumstances, astrology must be regarded as the highest of sciences and must be treated as such. As Benjamin Franklin said in his 1742, I believe, edition of Forward's Almanac. Anyway, Orcus is an extremely strong, undying, bold willpower. It's that determination. That's what Orcus is. And since a solar eclipse is regarded as a great new beginning, a new moon is a new beginning as is. A new moon defines the next 30 days of time before the next new moon. A new moon really does provably crystallize whatever happens on the new moon to play out that crystallization and make that new moon energy come to fruition for the next 30 days. So the theory behind a solar eclipse is that when there's a solar eclipse and then a blood moon or a perfect full moon, there's something crystallized. Something is decided on a solar eclipse, and that thing that is decided comes to fruition for the next era of time. I think a solar eclipse is a cosmic indication that something is crystallizing, and that thing that crystallizes is going to come to fruition. It's a great new beginning. So there's a new beginning right now. So we have to look to the other astrological things going on to know what this new beginning consists of. What's going to come to fruition in the next 2 years? What's going to happen in the next 2 years? This is the beginning. It truly is. And if we look at the other astrological aspects, we know what that beginning is. This is where I cut to the heart of the issue. So I'm going to resume this video in a part 2 because it's a lot to internalize at once. So use this as a preface, and I'm writing the next video is going to be the actual effects of this new beginning, what this new beginning consists of, and what these astrological aspects that I just explained do. There's also Uranus opposition Haumea, and Uranus opposition Haumea has been increasing our intuitive ability collectively for the last about year. So I'm going to resume this. Much love. Peace.